Hey babes, I'm super duper excited to talk to you today, sort of, because it's a really hard topic to talk about. Because we all want the perfect life or to pretend like we have a perfect life, and sometimes it's just not the case. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about this. This is about relationships. This maybe could be a trigger warning, but I don't really think it's going to trigger anything. Hopefully, you can find some commonalities and find some ways to relate to this conversation because I'm going to share with you some things. A lot of times people think that my relationship with my husband is perfect and glorious, and because that is what I put out there. Because 90% of the time, it actually is. There's that 10% of the time when I have doubts, I have frustrations, I am confused. There's a small chunk of time when you start questioning things, and so I want to talk a little bit about that today, and talk about that process, and talk about why we have those thoughts and where they come from and what to do with them. Like, what do you do with them? So, obviously today is actually our 19-year date anniversary. So we started dating 19, very, very long time ago. And over the years, the one thing that held true for us is like we didn't want to give up on each other. We never ever wanted to. But this day and age, it's so easy to. It's so easy to throw in the towel and be like, you know what, you piss me off a lot. Like, let's just I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Get away from me. And obviously you add things like children into the mix, you add in, finances and things like that. It gets more challenging and more challenging. And so what I want to talk about is just a little bit about that. We started very young at 17 with a newborn. And so it was very expensive and we were broke. We were on welfare. It was so embarrassing to get the WIC checks and have to go to the store. And I always try to go to the store on the side of town where it was a little bit more acceptable, I guess you could say. And, I hated it. I would never want to run into anybody at the grocery store. And that's not fair. That program is for people who need it and for people who eventually get off of it. So, I feel like we were a good example of what you should do in that situation and how you should utilize those resources that you have available in your community. But I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy being broke. It wasn't easy, not being able to go out, especially being a young mom. My husband would go out and I would be home with the child, with our youngest. And we were learning from each other. We were learning from the situations. And one of the biggest things I can tell you is that communication is what held it together for me. My husband's not a huge talker. Like he's just generally just kind of a happy guy. He's pretty laid back. And so when things like that would come up, it's like, I'm not sweeping this under the rug. I'm not going to blow up, but I'm going to have a conversation and let you know how this made me feel and flip it around. So I think one thing that helped our relationship a lot, at least helped my husband understand my point of view, is say, for example, he was going out with friends. I was at home with the baby. I would say something to him, after he cooled down or after he had sobered up and, give ourselves that space to think about it a little bit and process it. But I would say things like, how would you have felt if I went out with my girlfriends and you were at home? Like, what would you be feeling like? Because I don't think a lot of times, especially with men and the way that some men think, especially mine, is putting yourself in that situation. They don't put themselves in the situations of how women think. I do not think men and women think the same. And so trying to figure out what makes your spouse or your partner tick is kind of how you can figure each other out. And that throughout the years has been one of the biggest things that has helped him understand where I'm coming from, because I can blow things out of proportion. I can blow up. I mean, I'm a redhead, so my temper is very, very big. My fuse is very, very short. And so a lot of times it's like, whoa, you are acting crazy. So the reason why I'm talking about this too is because we had an experience this weekend. This was a moment where I didn't want to label it as cheers to 19 years. And we were frustrated with each other. We're actually at the cabin. We didn't have any kids. There was no reason to be frustrated. I'm pretty sure I should be on my period, but I have an IUD and I have no idea when it happened. So that's what I'm chalking it up to be, is that I am just super grouchy, or I was really grouchy. But, it's a moment to reflect on. It's so important to stop and pause and think about, like, why did I feel like this in this situation? Are my feelings valid? Is this something that is really bothering me, or is this just something in the moment? And of course, my situation was it was something just in the moment that really, really made me mad. And so sometimes we have these thoughts that get created after you get frustrated. And literally what I'm going to tell you, the trigger for me was we were going to go stop at a friend's house and I was still in my workout pants on Friday. And we were getting ready to go somewhere in the evening. And he was like, are you going to change your pants? Because I still have my yoga pants on. And mind you, my husband doesn't mind me wearing yoga pants because he knows I work out a lot, but he also doesn't like them to be worn in like public settings. He's like, you're not working out, like put on some jeans. And my jeans are pretty comfy, make sure they're stretchy. And I know that bothers him, but I like to wear my yoga pants because they're freaking comfortable and you can like literally ninja kick whatever you need to. It's just a glorious thing. But I know that it bothers him and I should have known that it would have bothered him in that moment. And I, being stubborn, was like, why does it bother you? Does my butt look bad? I work really hard. Like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me feel like this? And literally it was set me off. And so we didn't go anywhere. We went to bed and I was like, all right, I'll be in a better mood in the morning. I woke up and I was still pissed about it. So I was still like, this is bullshit. And so this is exactly what happened. We talked about it. I said, I need you to help me understand why you don't like me wearing yoga pants. Because when you say this thing to me, say things like, are you going to change your pants? In my brain, in my woman brain, it goes to, why do you think my butt is gross? Like, why would you say that? Is it the dimples on my butt? Like, what is going on? Like, I need you to tell me, like, do you not like it? Do you not like my pants? And he literally was like, no, you're just not working out. Like, you need to stop wearing workout pants when we go out. And so it's those things that how we think differently. And like, literally it put me in a bad mood for half the day on Saturday. So we came back to the cabin. We were actually getting ready to go eat. And I was hangry by that point as well, which is also not a good combination. Again, learn from your frustrations, sit in the moment and figure out, like, why am I being pissy right now? Why am I pissed? Well, I was hungry. I was pissed off because I felt like he thought I looked fat in yoga pants. And then I needed to just take a break. And so again, we're in a 600 square foot cabin. You can't really take a break. I'm like, I'm taking a nap. You know, it's Saturday. I got all my shit done today. I already did my workout. I'm good. I'm gonna take me a nap. So, you know, he went out and did some yard work. So I took a nap. I woke up and it was kind of like, he's like, I need to run to Petersburg. Like, are you gonna go with me? And I was like, no, I'm going to take a freaking nap. I haven't even really fell asleep yet. Because I can be super mean sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, and he's like, he doesn't like going places by himself. Again, I know that about him as well. And so I said, okay, do you actually want me to go with you? Because I feel like you still don't want me like to be around me right now. I don't know that I would be around you right now. Like, I need this space. And he's like, no, I want you to go. Like, okay. I'm like, all right, thank you for wanting me to go. You know, so we took a breath, we took a pause, and we both said, all right, let's just reset. This is not going to ruin our weekend. And so we reset. We had an even better conversation about it. I figured out where he was coming from. He figured out where I was coming from. And then we reset the tone of our day. And we both acknowledged that, like, I was being out of line. And then this is explaining to him why it was frustrating for me. And so that's the simple way to get over that for us. That's what works for us. But one thing I want to talk to you guys about, because I think this is something that I've never heard anybody share before, but we are not our thoughts. I mean, I've heard other entrepreneurs, other people in the positive mindset space talk about these things. You are not your thoughts. But in a relationship situation, I haven't ever really heard this before. And I want to say that there are some times, and there were times this weekend when I'm like, is this it? This is 19 years. Maybe we've hit our limit. Maybe this is like, we've been together for too long. It's time for us just to take a break. Like, we need to get away from each other. And then I am like, why would I say that? We've got 19 years of great times together. Why would I let this one situation that just pissed me off be the breaking point? And I'm not gonna lie, I've had those moments and those thoughts before. And I'm assuming this is common between women. Like, again, because as women, we are overthinkers. We're like, this is it. It's over. I got to start over. I got to get all my shit out of the house, like figure out where I'm going to move, all this stuff. Okay, stop. Sometimes I'm going to tell you, stop over exaggerating. And I'm telling you from my heart as like a friend, because obviously I do this. I literally just did this 2 days ago. Stop. Okay, take a deep breath. Over the years, I've created a list. It's called the list of him. if you find my phone and can hack into it, you might be able to find it. But there are so many things that I absolutely love about my husband that trump any comment he will ever make about my yoga pants. So I'm telling you, this is something you can think about doing for yourself. It's kind of like a pros and a cons list. Just don't list the cons, because those, we know what the cons are. It's the same thing like if you get a negative comment on one of your posts, and you're going to remember that. You're not going to remember the 1,700 comments that said, "You're gorgeous, you're beautiful, oh, you're such a good person." You know, you're going to remember that one that was like, "Oh, why are you posting this?" or whatever it is. Okay. So I'm saying, do not make a list of the cons of the relationship. You have a list of all the things you love about this person, how they make you smile, the things like they're so smart, they're so helpful, they're such a giver, you know, all of these things. And you look at that when you're in a bad mood. And I swear it will help you. We'll help you figure it out. It's almost like a gratitude list of this person that you literally want to smother with a pillow, because it happens. It's natural. But, you know, think of it and thinking too, not about how the other person can change, but how you can change your reaction to the other person. Because it's so often that we try to put it on the other person. And one of my favorite things my preacher used to say all the time is like, when you point your finger, there's 3 pointing back at you. And I've always thought about that. It's like, how can I be better in this situation? How can I be a better wife, a better mom, or just a better person in general? If I tend to do something that's just not kind, or something that questions my choices or my life decisions. And so I just want to share that with you guys a little bit. It's maybe some tactile things you can do to take away from this and actually move some things forward when you get frustrated or you just start having doubts. And because it's really, you know, relationships are hard. They're hard work. You know, sometimes some people make them look easy, and I apologize if I do make it look easy, because there's moments when, like, I can tell you that it's frustrating, and I'm not going to go blast this on social media. First of all, because my husband hates social media. So if he saw me post something about a fight we got into, like literally, he'd be so mad. So I'm telling you this, you are not your thoughts. You can have thoughts and have doubts and have questions, but I really want you to sit down and focus on the list of what makes you happy. You can do this in any situation. You can do it with your girlfriends, or you have family members, or just maybe somebody at work that you just don't like. Make a list of all the positives. And then when you have a moment when you just literally want to freak out, take the list out, look at it. I have mine on my phone. It's in my Out of Milk app. So I can look, don't ever take my phone. Like, I'll freak out if somebody ever gets my hold of my phone. But literally, it'll make you feel so much better in the moment. And it'll stop you and get off your pity potty. You know, there's also sometimes, sorry, I was about ready to wrap up, but I want to share one more thing. Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, no, I'm not letting this go. I just want to freaking flip out. I can be mad every once in a while. I'm pretty positive most of the time. I want to be a bitch in this moment. I'm not letting this shit go. And then when you stop and then you look back on it, so like yesterday afternoon, I was like, hey, babe, like, I'm really sorry about yesterday. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, I don't, maybe it is my time of the month. I don't know. But I don't really know who that girl was yesterday, but I didn't really like her either. So let's just pretend like that didn't happen. Okay. So it's okay. Like, there's just sometimes your brain takes over and you're like, oh, I'm irritated. That might be a moment in time when it's like, I need to like remove myself from this situation, go take a nap, go work out. That's going to be like one of the top things I'm going to tell you to do whenever you need to reset yourself. Go do something different that is like completely different than what you need to do. Go on a walk, whatever it is that helps you distract yourself from that situation and give yourself that reset. Because we all have those triggers, those things that just set us off. And you got to figure out how to circle back around so that you can just let go. And so it doesn't eat you alive and it just doesn't irritate you. So, all right, I promise I'm done now. I hope you guys have the best day. If this was helpful for you, please share it. Please put some comments. I have no idea because I don't get any feedback on my podcast, but I hope they're helpful for you. You know, I would love to bring you more content. I would also love to bring people in and like do like a question and answer type of things for people who really do have their shit together. So if that's you, reach out to me. Let me know. We can get this party started. So have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. Love you guys. Bye.